What's up? It's J Pro. Today I'm going to be reviewing my top 5 Reflex bags for 2022. Remember, top 5 is all relative. My top 5 might be different than your top 5, and that's okay. What matters most is that you're getting useful information to make a calculated decision. So what makes me qualified to review Reflex bags? Well, I've been boxing training for over 10 years, originally as a hobbyist. I'm now active as an amateur boxer fighting out of NYC. I'm also a wellness coach and fitness trainer, so I'm tapped into all different sides of the game. Whatever your needs are, I've got you covered. Now, if you're in the early stages of research, I highly suggest you watch this video all the way through. But if you're deep into it and you're just 1 or 2 clicks away from making that decision, you can jump ahead to a specific bag and or brand. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. These are my top 5 Reflex bags for 2022. All right, here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna start with number 5 and work our way up. For each one, I'm gonna tell you the name of the bag, the brand, the price, my total investment, including any add-ons or added weight. We'll run through the pros and cons, and then I'll tell you who I think the bag is best for. So starting with number 5 is the double end bag. Okay, I know technically the double end bag isn't a Reflex bag, but I feel like it's in the same family, which is why it makes the list at number 5. I think of the double end bag as like the Reflex bag's older brother. Every boxing company in the world produces a double end bag. This one is from Bracemaster. I got it on Amazon for $32. My only add-on is one sandbag for the base, bringing my total investment here up to $57. Let's talk about the pros. Well, it goes without saying, but obviously, price is a big pro here. Out of every Reflex bag that we're looking at today, this is by far the cheapest solution, and it's a great entry point into boxing training to set this up from home and get a full body boxing workout with a really low entry cost. Number 2 is that in addition to the price, this is also taking up the least amount of space out of everything that we're looking at today. You can see that I have mine super close to the wall here because I want to open up space on the main floor of the gym, and I can still move all around this and get a great workout. So again, if space is a factor, this is another really good solution. The third pro is going to be reliability. And what do I mean by that? I mean that the technology itself is time and tested. This is one of the oldest methods and most reliable methods that boxers use to develop their rhythm, their timing, their hand speed. So you know, training with this bag, that the technology is proven. All right, let's talk about the cons. So number 1, defense is limited. And so what do I mean by that? I mean that compared to the other Reflex bags, I'm not really getting the opportunity to work my defense as much. This is still gonna simulate defense. I can practice my slips and my rolls, but it's not quite the same as the feeling of the bag coming all the way out where you have to move your head, which I really like because it's a more realistic simulation of that back and forth. Number 2 is gonna be the installation. So anything that requires me to start drilling holes into the wall or ceiling, I'm not that excited about. To be honest, it wasn't that hard, but it's just something to consider compared to some of the other bags where you can just take them out of the box and get going. And also, once you have it set up, if you're ever rearranging things and you want to move it, you're going to have to take the screws out, drill new holes into the wall. So it's just something to factor in there. Overall, this is a really great solution. If budget and space are your most important factors, this is a great way to start boxing and get full body boxing workouts and training in from home. All right, coming in hot at number 4 is the Cobra Bag by RINGSIDE. This is a really popular beginner Reflex bag. It's $280 on Amazon. I've added 1 bag of sand and a pair of 30-pound dumbbells, bringing my total investment up to $340 for this bag. Now it's worth mentioning, you don't have to add extra weight. All of these bags come with at least one form of a base. I'm a bigger guy, I fight at light heavyweight, so for me, I prefer to have added weight so that I can really let the hands fly, and it's also going to be less noise and less of an impact. So just something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the pros. Right off the bat, you'll notice that this is the biggest actual bag for everything that we're reviewing today. So in terms of the actual target, it's the largest bag on top, which is really nice if you're someone who wants to land really solid hooks and uppercuts. It's really satisfying. Similar to a heavy bag in terms of landing those nice power punches, that solid connection. The big target is nice for that. The second pro is the actual speed of the bag. You'll notice that it's a lot slower than the other bags that we're looking at today, which is really nice if you're a beginner. I say it all the time, hitting a moving target is a lot harder than it looks. So if you're getting into it for the first time, it's really nice to have a slower speed bag where you can kind of work your way up. Number 3, out of all the bags that we're looking at today, this has the best system for adjusting the height. It's a really nice pop and lock mechanism. You just twist, pull, adjust the height, and then it locks right back into place. It's just a really sound design, which is great if you have different people in the house who are going to be using the bag. For me, I'm a trainer, so I have people of all different heights. I work with kids, so it's really nice, a quick, easy, reliable way to adjust the height of the bag. All right, now on to the cons. So the first con is that durability is questionable. You can probably notice as I hit the bag, it's a little rattly. Now listen, I wanna say that I've had this bag for over 4 years. It's the first Reflex bag I've ever owned. So mine, the screws have come loose a little bit at the bottom, which is consistent with what people are saying on Amazon. Now I'm not saying this bag is gonna break down within a week of using it. You have to keep in mind this is something that you're punching every day in your house. So the fact that mine is still good for a workout 4 years in, I'm satisfied, but you can feel a little bit that it's a little loose. And so that's just something to keep in mind when you're considering making an investment. Number 2, and this is kind of a funny con, but I'm not sure if you can tell, but the actual material of the bag isn't leather. This looks more like a silicone, which is kind of an interesting thing. I think for me, when I think boxing, I think leather on leather. It's like that satisfying snap of hitting a leather bag that you don't really get fully when you're using the silicone. Maybe it's a little bit more durable in a sense, possibly, but also it's a little harder. So if you're someone who wants to be kind of careful with joint pain, that's something to think about. Or if you come in at a funny angle, there's potential for injury there. So I have the bag being silicone, not leather, as the second con. The third con, I kind of touched on it before, but the bag is very noisy. It was less noisy before my screws got loose, but even when I first got it, there was a little bit more feedback than some of the other bags, and I think that's because of the weight of the ball on top. Overall, I think this is a really great and fairly reliable Reflex bag for beginners. Ooh, we're in the thick of it now. Moving on to the top 3 Reflex bags for 2022. At number 3, I have the spinning bar. Now, there's a couple different makers out there. This one is by Innolife Boxing. You can pick it up for $200. But right off the bat, you have to know that I have a ton of add-ons going on here. So let me break it down for you. What comes with this product is the bar that you're seeing here, this bag at top, and then this metal rod that goes all the way down to a base that's not weighted. It's a metal base that's designed to be bolted into the floor. Everything else you're seeing in here, the foam roller, this mat, these are all add-ons, the weights at the bottom. So I estimate my total investment into this bag between $300 to $350. All right, let's get into the pros. So first and foremost, I have to tell you, I love this bag. It is so much fun to use, all of the different targets, seamlessly blending offense and defense. I feel like I never get bored. So the first pro has to just be fun. The second pro is going to be training defense. This is the most realistic way to really simulate what it's like to have hooks coming at you that you can roll and counter or practice your blocks. And the third pro is it feels like you're getting 2 for 1. So even without my add-ons, you use the bar, you hit the ball on top. When you factor in what I've added, there's just a ton of things to do with the bar. So it's unique in the sense that you can hit it in multiple areas. Okay, so now the cons. Well, first of all, the ball on top that comes with the bag, you can kind of see it's a little flimsy. It's not very durable. It feels like it's a little bit on the cheaper side. So compared to the other Reflex bags, you're just not getting a lot from that ball on top outside of a target and something that you can kind of tap and practice with. Okay, con number 2 is going to be the height. Now it is adjustable, so you can make this as high or as low as you want, but you have to factor in that these 2 items here are working together. So you're not going to want the bar much lower or higher than shoulder level, so you can get realistic target for your hooks. It also makes it realistic to do the rolls without having to bend over too much or put too much pressure on the knees. But then when I do that, you'll see that this ball on top is a little high. Now punching up is going to be good to condition the shoulders or practice boxing a taller opponent, but it can feel a little awkward. It might not be what you want to do every day working out, so that's just something to consider. But on the flip side, if you lower it so that the ball is at a more comfortable height, then the bar is going to be too low. You're going to have to overexert yourself, putting a lot of pressure on the knees. So it's kind of a pick your poison there. I've opted for a higher bar and punching up with obviously my add-ons downstairs too. And number 3, the last con, is just going to be the amount of space required. It's hard to tell, but for this bar to get the full 360 turn, you need a lot of space. This takes up more space than any other bag we're going to look at today. Overall, I love the spinning bar. I feel like with just the amount of flexibility you have, the ability to work offense and defense, you'll kind of experience a new zone that maybe you've never gotten into before using this bag. So I highly recommend it for anyone who really wants that versatility to be able to mix it up and improvise when they're doing their training. Coming in hot and coming in fast at number 2 is the Black Mamba bag by Grodex. This is the world's lightest and fastest Reflex bag. You can pick this up for $205 on their website. I opted for the foam attachment to simulate the chest and to give me another target. I also have 1 pair of 30-pound dumbbells at the base, bringing my total investment here up to $273. The first pro is going to be the fact that it's so lightweight and mobile. It is the only Reflex bag on the market that you can literally pick up with one hand and store in the smallest area of your house after your workout, which is huge for anyone where space is a consideration. It really is that light. Once it warms up, I'm going to take it with me to the park and do my workouts outside. So that's really such a cool thing and rare for any boxing training equipment whatsoever. Number 2 has to be that speed. I mean, if you're someone with some experience who wants to take your reflexes to the highest level, the speed of this bag is incredible. It makes the flow and the rhythm a ton of fun to use, and I feel like it has that long-lasting appeal because I'm never going to get bored training with this bag because I can always take my speed to the next level. Number 3 is going to be the soft target on top, the fact that it's a tennis ball instead of a traditional bag. I really like that because sometimes I want to go up to my bag and I don't want to go 250%. I want to just tap it and work my form on days where I want to take it easy. And so I like that you have that option here. If you're someone who's ever had joint pain or wrist pain using a heavy bag before, this is a really nice option because it's so soft and it's so light that you don't have to worry too much about injuries on your joints. You do have to watch your head when you're using it. So now let's talk about the cons. My mom always says the flip side of your greatest strengths are your greatest weaknesses. I believe that to be the case here. One of the big pros here is the speed. I also have the speed as a con because it's a barrier to entry for beginners. If you're just starting out and this is a first time boxing equipment, I wouldn't recommend this bag. It's one of the only bags that I've reviewed today that I don't have any of my newer clients use right away because it is intimidating, it is so fast, and it also can be dangerous when you're hitting this hard and it's coming back at you. So you have to be careful. It's not something I would recommend for beginners right away. The second con I would say is that the durability is questionable. Again, I wouldn't say that it's bad. It's really nicely made and it looks like really beautiful engineering, but I haven't had mine for that long. I've noticed the base gets a little wobbly. I found myself unscrewing it and rescrewing it a few times. So I'm a little concerned about how well it's gonna hold up over time. Just with someone my size hitting such a small target with such a small base. So far, it's in really great shape, but I've noticed that wobbly action at the bottom a little bit. Number 3 is gonna be the rounded punches. So obviously this thing is amazing for the straight punches if you wanna develop a lightning fast jab, but the rounded punches, throwing hooks and uppercuts, you can still throw them, but you have to hit it in such a specific area to connect. Not only is it really difficult, but it's not as satisfying landing those hooks and those uppercuts as some of the bigger targets. Overall, I love this bag. There's something about the rhythm of when it's this light and you just really get into that zone. I think if you're a boxer with some experience, it's gonna take your training to the next level without a doubt. So that's why it comes in at number 2. I highly recommend for anyone who has some boxing experience or beginners who are super patient and super cautious when they use it. All right, and now for my top Reflex bag of 2022, and it goes to the Pro Elite by Fierce Reflex. The name is elite, everything about the bag is elite. This is their mid-level bag. It costs $465. I've got 2 55-pound plates, so my total investment into this bag is $845. Yeesh, I know it's a steep price to pay, but you're paying a premium price for a premium product. This bag is designed by a boxing family. It was built by Coach Henry, who's the father of Ryan Garcia, who's a pro boxer. I feel like Ryan really put this bag on the map with his crazy hand speed, and his behind the back shots is kind of what launched the Reflex bag into the mainstream. And the reason that I bring that up is because you can just tell from using this bag that it has championship DNA. It wasn't built by any Silicon Valley guys. You can just feel that this was built from people who live and breathe and love boxing. Which brings me to the first pro, the design. You can just see from using this bag that the experience is just different. It's got full 360-degree motion. It's incredibly fluid. It's hard to even really explain what makes it so great. It's just a fluid, seamless movement, and that all comes down to design. Number 2 is going to be the durability. I've had this bag for over 2 years. It's been my primary Reflex bag. It's where I film all of the workouts on this channel. It's taken a lot of abuse in this gym, and it has the same spring as when I first bought it. The third pro has to be the elegant finish. I'm a gym owner. I want people to come in and be wowed when they walk into the gym, and 9 out of 10 times, everyone is drawn into this bag. With all the different equipment, everyone walks over to this thing and starts hitting it. It just has that beautiful finish and that aesthetic that makes you want to get up and just start hitting it around. They have different colors on the website. I love the white and red. It's just a really clean, nice looking bag. So if that's something that you think about in your gym, why not? Now we'll talk about the cons. Number one, you have to mention the price. I think a big reason that people get excited about Reflex bags, it's because it is a much cheaper alternative. And even with my add-ons at $845, it's still significantly cheaper than a lot of the mainstream heavy bags we're seeing today, but it's not cheap. So compared to the other bags, that's the first con. The second one, and this is a small con, but this knob that adjusts the height, my rubber piece got, I think, really detached from the screw. So I can still adjust the height. I use pliers to do it. It's pretty easy. I've kind of gotten used to it, but you know, it would be better if I could just use my knob. I don't know that that's common or that's just happened to me, but that's a small thing. And the last con, another small one, but I've noticed that I have a little bit of a leak of sand out of the corner of the bag. Again, I've got a ton of weight on top of my bag. I'm wailing away every day, so you don't expect that it's gonna be perfect. It's never ripped open, but I've noticed little corners of sand leaking out. Grab the vacuum, it's no big deal. Overall, despite the price, this is my top bag for 2022. It's elevated my boxing game. All of my clients love it. It's the type of bag that just gets you excited to want to get out of bed and start moving and hitting it around. Even at the price point, it's something I highly recommend to anyone who is serious about boxing training, or they want to put a little bit more money in so that they're motivated to use it every day. And the reliability and the durability, you just can't go wrong with the Fierce Flex. All right, that's going to do it for my review of the top 5 Reflex bags for 2022. Hopefully you found this to be useful. If you did find it helpful, please like the video. If there are any unanswered questions or anything I missed or you need clarification on, I'm happy to have any one-offs. Just put your question in the comments. I'll get to you. I'll let you know. If you are in the market for something new, you're looking to add another kind of layer to your fitness game, I highly recommend Reflex bags. They literally changed my life. Rerouted the whole course of my career. They're just a ton of fun to use, and obviously proceed with caution. The bag does fight back, and I've been hit by every bag in this gym at some point, but it comes with the territory, so it's all good. Thanks again for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe for free weekly workouts once you pick up your new bag. I'll see you real soon.